Your father is a 8-time convicted felon.
Yeah.
What was that like experiencing that statistic there?
I didn't really find that out till like recently, you know. When I used like me and my dad got into an argument about some shit. You know how when you gone from your real father for so long, then you finally meet with the nigga and the nigga be trying to act like, hey, do this, you got to do that. I'm like, man, nigga, you wasn't here. You don't know me like that. You know what I'm saying? Then he broke it down. Like, nigga, I've been in jail. Like, I've been in prison. Like, you know, he broke it down to me. I'm like, damn, 8 times? Like, what the fuck? You go back, he ain't getting out, you know. So that's why he left Louisiana and never came back. Cause like he feel like he come back, they gonna lock him up for good. Just on the fact cause he been in and out that motherfucker so many times. But by him being 8 time, is rarely some shit he didn't do. So he used to put me on game about shit when I got into the streets, like on how to move so I wouldn't get arrested. So you know, I don't never, try to bash my father for that. Because if it wasn't for him doing all of that, I probably couldn't have avoided a lot of shit I did to get where I'm at right now, you know. And be able to pay out my pocket and do shit at a young age and be able to take care of other people. If it wasn't for him being an 8 time, I wouldn't know how to move type shit.
Did he ever do what was for him when he would get locked up? He's done prison time.
Yeah.
Was it state, federal?
State and federal.
Do
So
you do you remember what the longest stint was?
I think the longest was like, I don't want to say the wrong shit. Cause this how he'll do it. He'll go in, be out for a little bit, and go right back. You know, and he was doing that shit all the way from I was about 16, so probably about 5, 4, 5. 5. I think it was about 5. He was gone for a long period where I couldn't even talk to him. They be like, your dad in jail. I think 5. I can't be exact with it, but he probably see his interview and tell me, nigga, it was this, that, do. But I don't know, fuck. You gone. You was gone. You was in jail most of the time, fuck.
But you know it was state and federal at one
Yeah,
point.
it was state and fed. I think the fed one that I know for a fact that was like the first time like they told me about it. I think I was young. I don't even know. I think I was about 6th grade, coming from the 5th grade. We stabbed somebody, and that's when he really had to go sit and do some fucking time. Even though the person he stabbed came back and was like, "Oh, he ain't do it," you know what I'm saying? They still just left him in there, like fuck it, fuck that nigga, like leave him in there, you know. So that shit was hard.
He comes back into your life at 16?
He was never really there. He like coming in and coming out. I'm in Baton Rouge, he in New Orleans. All my other siblings in New Orleans with him. I'm all the way in BR. So might talk to him on the phone, you know. I can count on my hands how many times nigga done send me money, but that about it. Probably $200 there, Blue Moon out there, bitch, when he not in jail. And yeah, but he came. To be real, he didn't really like come back into my shit. It was like I talked to you during my bad moments type shit. It wasn't no coming into my life. I was pushed into his life, if you ask me, type. Like I was pushed back onto him because I'm a minor at this point, and my mama don't be bothered with me, so gotta go fuck with my daddy people now. Now I'm forced to go out there in New Orleans. I'm forced to live a life that I, could have stayed out there, but that also came with consequences. You gotta pick which cards you want to play, type shit. But those cards led me out there with him, and that's how he kind of came back into my life, or I came back in his life, however you want to take it.
And that was at 16?
16. 16. I went to Mac Main out there. I came from Madison Prep. in BR, and I ended up going to McMahon out there when I was living with him out in the East. I used to have to drive all the way from... I used to drive illegally at this point. My dad had an Audi. I used to try to take his car and go to McMahon because I lived all the way in the East, and McMahon is uptown. So that was like my first time. That's when I knew like they gotta be a higher power. I ain't never get like caught for no shit like most other dudes get caught for. Like they get caught for dumb shit. Like I just say, I don't know, I guess I'm lucky, you know. But yeah, around that time.
Ever done prison time?
Nah, I ain't never. Thank God. Fuck, I don't want to. I ain't looking forward to it. I ain't trying to. And don't think that's cool. That ain't. I don't know why dudes think it's cool that you go to jail and you go to prison. You stupid. You got caught. You don't want to get caught. You know what I'm saying? You bragging about getting caught? That shit, I never understood that. Like, but nah, no prison time. None of that.
Now, there may be some people watching this that has a parent in prison currently, or had a parent recently come out of prison.
Right.
So circumstances could be different for everybody, but anything you want to say to somebody that's in one of those circumstances there, either they have a parent in prison or their parent just came out of prison.
Keep your head up. Storm don't last forever, bro. It's raining now, the sun gotta come back. So just wait for the sun to come back. Just sit out the storm. Go in the shade somewhere, sit it out. Figure it out. You know, you can do anything you want to do. That's all I really got to say about that.
And just for clarification, you get forced into your father's life at 16, but prior to 16, you mentioned he would call you. Would this be a once-in-a-while thing he would call you?
Yeah, it's a once-in-a-while thing. It wasn't like some calling me every week. It'd probably be like 1 month I talk to him. 2-3 months down the line, I text him and then probably get like a call. Or my mom would sneak talk to her, get him on the phone, tell me to talk to him. Or I get into it, I'll get into some trouble. Then my mom would try to get him involved and I hated that shit. It was just all fucked up, like, matter growing up like that. I don't wish that on nobody. I don't like the mind games. Like, psychologically, what that'll do to a person is not good. It ain't good, you know. It's like a little soft spot for me, you know. I don't like that shit.
Mentally, have you ever seen a professional over that?
Nah. I don't feel like I should talk to, like... Because it's a lot of shit I could be saying that I'm not going to say. And it's like, if I was to talk to a professional about that, I would have to tell them everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't really... For it to get to the root of the problem, I don't feel... I think I got to deal with that on my own. Like, that's some shit I got to soul search and get over that on my own time with my own son, you know. Raising him the right way, I might be able to get some closure and see how that go. But I don't think I'm going to tell no professional how I'm living or how I was living. They wouldn't understand, in my opinion. You know.
But he was, and I know call, maybe text once in a while, but did that happen throughout your life or it started at a certain age? When I was like a kid, I remember my mama would probably get him on the phone and we talked for no more than 5 minutes. And back to my life, you know, back to what I'm doing. None of that shit really matters, but 16 was, I feel like it was because my mom was just like, fuck it, take your son back. She used to always tell me, like, he got off scotch-free. You know, that she used to fuck with me. Like, what you mean he got off scotch-free? Like, I'm a problem to you or something? You know what I'm saying? I ain't asked to be here. You know, so she just felt like, I don't know. And shit, though. It is what it is, you know.
But he was sporadically
throughout
your life.
He was sporadically
these texts,
pop up.
these phone calls.
Yeah, randomly. Yeah, completely random.
But it was throughout your life.
It was throughout my life. Except for the little parts when he'll be in jail, it'll be like a big gap of like 2-3 years, and then the gap would get longer. I remember that's when I said the long period, probably about 4, 5, but I'm probably overstretching it, but it was a long time. It was some years.
Did you actually ever visit him while he was incarcerated?
Never. Never. He never wanted me to see him like that. I remember that he didn't want me to never come to see him like that. Like, my mama never really wanted me to see him like that neither. Cause they felt like it was like a sickness that he kept going back. Like, why do you keep doing shit and you know you're gonna land back in there? So it's like, you don't want to, they didn't want me to see him like that. They feel like he was sick, you know.
You ever seen pictures of him in...
I seen some pictures. He don't look like nothing was wrong with him. Like he, you know, I don't know.
But in those county clothes or prison clothes...
When I mean the prison clothes was not the county. I ain't never seen him no county. When I seen him in prison, like the sweatpants and the sweatshirt, that's what I seen. I ain't see no county shit. That's why I said that's probably one of the Fed cases.
So did you sneak and see these pictures?
No, man. It was openly on social media, man. That shit embarrassing. That shit is embarrassing, bro. But, yeah, I seen it, you know, but he doing this thing now. It don't matter what you did in the past. It's about the present right now.
But they were trying to hide even the pictures from you? They didn't want to
They
even...
ain't even like they were trying to hide it. It wasn't something a nigga was worried about. Like, maybe if I would have asked, oh, let me see my dad in prison clothes, they would have, look at your daddy. You know, I'm living all the way in Baton Rouge. Who's going to show me? I'm not talking to his mama. I'm with my mama all day. I'm doing stuff like, you know, regular shit a kid, you know, doing at that point. He ain't worrying about my dad. My dad ain't been here. You know, the dude in the household right now, that's like a father right now. You know, I'm not really worrying. He ain't doing nothing for me. This man doing something for me right now. Even though we, you know, wasn't on good terms later on, but at this point in time, it's the only dad you got right now. You gotta take what you can get type shit. So I wouldn't really worry about what he doing in jail. Like, I ain't like my dad was in jail, but I couldn't really worry about it.
Well, the reason why I ask is because they didn't want you to ever visit him or see him like that, quote unquote. So I didn't know if they didn't even want you to see pictures of him like that.
Man, they just weird, bro. I feel like it was just a weird situation. Because when I asked, you know, my dad in jail, like, you know, I'm go visit my dad. He's like, no, nah, you don't need to see that. I don't even want you in that. I don't want you looking at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. You see my paw, but that's cool. You know, I understand now. Like, if I was to, God forbid, get locked up for a long time, I wouldn't want them to show me, like, bring my son to see me like that.
Why not?
I wouldn't want him to see that, bro. You like a caged animal. I feel like you gotta go see some shit like that. Like, that's somebody at their lowest. You don't want to see nobody at their lowest. Nobody wants to. I don't like to see people at their lowest because I just don't like to see that shit. That just ain't something I would want my son to come look at your daddy. Locked up like a animal. Chains on him and shit. Nigga telling him where to go and what to do. That's your dad. He's supposed to tell niggas what to do. That's how most, you know, son look at their dad. Like, my dad, like, yeah, you know, he gonna tell a nigga what to do. You don't want to go see your dad. Like, nigga, do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, enough of that. You know, chill out with that. Go do this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never want to see me like that. So, yeah, I don't never want my son to see me, like, in no situation like that. Yeah.
So what age were you when you finally see that picture or that photo of him in state clothes or federal clothes?
Probably when I was freshman in high school, and it was some old shit, you know? I'm like, oh, all right. I stumbled across it, you know what I'm saying? I stumbled like, what the fuck? You know, I ain't realized he was like in prison clothes because I'm thinking, I'm looking for the county shit, you know what I'm saying? But now that I'm older, I'm like, oh no, that's prison clothes. He was in prison, you know what I'm saying? That's them sweatpants, prison, sweatshirt, oh, where you wearing that shit? A lot of shit I ain't know until I got around my dad, you know? He kind of put me on game about a lot of shit. I was kind of like blind, you know?
How'd you stumble across that photo?
Social media, going through his social media, you know, you get to scrolling on the nigga shit. dipping the dab and see what you talking about. You scrolling down, like, man, what's going on here? It was like a first day home picture type shit. I'm like, what the fuck, you still got the prison clothes on? Now that when I'm looking back on, I'm like, damn, he still had the prison clothes on. But when I first seen it, I'm like, you went and bought some sweatpants on your first day out? But nah, naive and dumb, stupid, childish. I ain't know what that was, but I got older. I learned what that shit was.
You said this was embarrassing. Was it embarrassing when you first stumbled across the photo, or
it was embarrassing when I realized? It wasn't embarrassing at first. It was embarrassing like, damn, that's my dad. You know what I'm saying? That's my boss. Love him, hate him. That's who it is. It is what it is. So I took my little shame, dealt with it like, brush it off. It ain't the end of the world. It's just a picture. You know what I mean? Not like nobody else gonna find it and see it. Nobody know my dad's social media. Hope it stay like that. That nigga a fucking character. For real.
Did he know you were embarrassed over it?
He know. I tell him. I be telling him every time he make me feel uncomfortable. Like, Dad, you make a nigga feel weird. I don't care about that. Fuck them people. That's what he be like. Fuck it. Laughing. Fuck them people. What he say? But, he ain't never really care what nobody thought. So, he don't be caring. He think it's all a big-ass joke. Big-ass game. He don't care about that shit. He look at social media as like, probably because he older, he don't really take that shit serious. Like, they probably think that man be this. That man don't care about no damn social media. That man doing other shit. When I figured out what he really do, that's when I'm like, all right, I see why you act like that on social media. You don't give a fuck about that shit. You got bigger shit going on, But yeah.
And for time reference, it's July 2021 now.
Right.
All right. What's the bigger shit he got going on?
Bigger shit he got going on?
Yeah.
I can't speak on it. I ain't gonna talk about that.